So have you ever looked at a fruit fly on your kitchen counter and thought, lunch? Me either, but spine stilt bugs love to feed on them. So plants are under constant attack by insects, and one of the ways that they defend themselves against these herbivores is to provide food, typically in the form of pollen or nectar, to attract and enlist predatory insects in defense. And recently, researchers studying wildflowers covered in sticky hairs have determined that insects will get caught on the surface of these sticky plants, and some predatory insects are able to consume these dead insects that are trapped on the surface of the plants. So we call this a protective mutualism, because the predators are getting a free meal and the plant is getting defense in return. Now similarly, tobacco grown here in North Carolina is covered in sticky hairs, which trap insects all over the surface of the plant. And the most abundant predator in tobacco, the spine stilt bug, will feed on them readily, in addition to their typical prey items, which are major caterpillar pests of tobacco. Now we know that these stilt bugs are compatible with some insecticides used in tobacco production, but we wanted to see if we could further promote their abundance. So what I did was I went around to genetics labs on campus, collected fruit flies, and then sprinkled them on tobacco plants in fields at our research stations. And sure enough, we found that when plants were augmented with dead fruit flies, that increased the abundance of the predatory stilt bugs, and this reduced damage to the plants. So another example of this great protective mutualism, but for the first time, we're observing this in an agronomically important crop. So I'm not telling farmers to go out and sprinkle dead fruit flies on their plants just yet. Instead, we think this is a first and important step in developing something like a protein spray that could be applied to plants, and not just tobacco plants, but other plants that are covered in these sticky hairs, such as tomatoes, petunias, or hemp, which is grown in North Carolina for the first time in a long time. So, by promoting these predatory insects, we're reducing our reliance on insecticides. And this is a good thing, because this is reducing costs of production for growers, it's reducing the risk of exposure to insecticides for farm workers, and it's also reducing that risk of exposure to human consumers as well. Additionally, it's reducing that risk to non-target organisms such as pollinators and fish. And this all falls within that framework of sustainable pest management, which agriculture should envision or endeavor towards for the future, so we can continue to feed the many people of the earth without damaging the environment and important arthropods in that environment. Thank you.